Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. As mentioned in the daily financial news, we have the one and only Greg Dickerson this morning. How are you doing, sir?
Doing great, Michael. Good to see you.
Nice to see you as well. One of the things I'm asking all my experts this week is what kind of, what books do you recommend others check out? What books made a difference in your life? Because I do think there's a lot in the mindset and, knowledge that you sort of seek. So I just love to hear about some books that Mr. Greg Dickerson recommends.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, number one, the Bible, and people don't think there's any business lessons in there. Absolutely. Especially the book of Proverbs, one of the greatest business books of wisdom ever written. So anyways, that would be first and foremost, depending on where you're at with your faith, that's a great one. But beyond that, it was Rich Dad, Poor Dad was one of the first, key instrumental books from, a business mindset of entrepreneurship. And then, Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, How to Win Friends, Influence People, Dale Carnegie. From a business book standpoint, from a management philosophy, the 1 Minute Manager series of books. I've read everything in the 1 Minute Manager series, and there are several books in that series. Fantastic books. And that's the management system and philosophy that I used to build all of my companies, and I still use today. And I teach all of my clients that I coach all around the world to use and implement. And then I'll tell you another one that's been very instrumental was, and you can't find it, very difficult to find, but you can find like the audio of it on YouTube. It's called Managing by Harold Janine. And Harold Janine was the CEO of ITT, one of the first multi-conglomerates back in the day. And he talks about how to lead, multiple companies, internationally, and how that all worked and how he built all the different divisions and things like that. That's a fantastic management book. So those were the core books that I started with. And, I've got thousands of books in me, and, I read everything by Tony Robbins, Anthony Robbins. I read everything by Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, all the greats on business and mindset, going back. And then in the real estate industry, I've read, all the books by, obviously all of Robert Kiyosaki, all of his books. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad was the first, but I read all of his other books by all of his advisors that have been put out over the years. And, just all kinds of different real estate books and professionals. And then I read a lot of biographies and autobiographies of people in industry and business and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you, one of the books, so I do kind of the same thing. Let me ask this question. Is reading still something that you try to do daily, weekly, monthly?
Every day, hours every day.
Hours every day.
Yeah. So reading, not only just reading, but listening, to podcasts, audiobooks, things like that. So yeah, I'm constantly, pouring into myself. It's not necessarily always sitting down with a book, but I'll, articles, things like that. So yeah, I spend hours every day researching, reading, learning. And then when I'm not actually reading and looking at it, it's being pumped into my ears while I'm out walking and getting exercise.
Yeah, this is something that I see very different in the successful folks I like yourself that I'm lucky enough to interact with. Reading or consuming information is it is a daily habit. So it's great to hear that.
Yeah, the right information. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it could go the other way, right? If you pump your mind full of negative information, which almost seems like a national sport these days. There's a lot of folks going down very deep, dark rabbit holes. I couldn't imagine what happens to the mindset when you read negativity all day. It's kind of counterproductive.
Yeah, there's a lot of toxic stuff out there on a lot of the social media platforms, and I just skip through that stuff. I don't even pay attention to it. The comments that you get, things like that, I just ignore them, block them. What I mean? It's just, you can't fight with stupid, so you just delete it, block it, move on. And, there's a lot of ignorance out there, and, there's a lot of, irrational, mindsets out there. And there's a lot of, fake news and false truths and what do you call it when they, take something and generate like my face on something and make it look real?
A deep fake.
Deep fake. Yeah. And they look so real, so you got to be real careful in terms of what you're paying attention to. And it's pretty easy to discern, what's real and what's not. But especially with the war, there's so much, you don't know, the Russians are very good at that, putting out the false propaganda and stuff. And, so you just got to focus on the right stuff. And, input equals output. End of the story. That the bottom line is whatever you put in here is what's going to come out in here. Think it, speak it, live it. I mean, that's how it works.
I love all of that, folks. So I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to take all these lists, go get them on Amazon, put the links below. Lots of great books there. I want to hear from you, though. If you're watching this videos and you've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment on this question. When you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, did you want to be Robert and Kim like myself? Or when you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, were you enlightened and you wanted to be Rich Dad like Greg? Because I've reread the book since Greg and I have been talking, and I still want to be Robert and Kim. My mind is not wired the same way. You are amazing, Greg. How can people find you?
Yeah, gregdickerson.com. And, the funny part about that is Rich Dad, that's the guy everybody came to, right? So, to solve problems, for advice, with opportunities. That's what I saw. I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be.
I know.
Yeah.
I read the book again on purpose, hoping that my mind would click. It didn't click. I just don't have it. It's funny.
Everybody's wired differently, so there's no right or wrong.
No right or wrong.
They're both good positions to take and good people to be.
No, absolutely, folks. So again, folks, let me know below. Do you want to be Robert, Kim, or Rich Dad? I just want to see I just want to see what percent I have.
We're talking about from the philosophy of the book, not necessarily the individuals.
Oh, yeah.
Robert and Kim are kind of going off the deep end here as they get a little older, but
Robert,
with some things, they're kind of in that conspiracy mode and things like that. But the fundamentals of the business.
Just this book. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you.
Yeah.